Hello everyone, my name is Muir and we've got something new for you today. However, before we get into the video, I'd like to take a moment to tell you that nearly 70% of people who watch our videos are not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you could do me a huge favor by liking the video, commenting below, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that bell. It really helps with the channel and lets me know that you're liking what I'm making. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello everyone, my name is Muir and this is Starsector version 0.95.1a-RC3. RC4 is not that different from RC3 and only really makes some fairly minor bug changes. But this is the Hyperion. This isn't new to this patch, but I haven't made a ship build for it yet. Now, there is something about this. And what I like to do with most of my ships is put their weapons on different groups. Now there's going to be a reason for this. The Hyperion, what we're using here are 2 ion pulsars, and 1 assault chain gun. For our hull mods, we are sporting expanded magazines, hardened subsystems, flux distributor, and the resistant flux conduits. So, why? Well, we want our vents to be as high as possible. If we can, we actually want them to be the same or greater than our weapon flux. The expanded magazines makes it so that these have 30 shots instead of 20. It increases their capacity by 50%. The hardened subsystems lets this ship stay out for longer. High maintenance, that just is higher cost. Flux distributor is more flux dissipation, and the resistant flux conduits lets us vent our flux way faster. So why is this important? Well, after you alpha strike all of this, I guess, after you blow all of the charges in these, you can just switch onto one of these and not fire, and the ship can fire forever. Which is really nice. However, if you have your shields down, you actually lose flux. You're actually able to dissipate about 30 flux per second. The reason is, these cost about 200 flux to fire per second, so that means that's how you get this number, 800. This is 400. Each of these are 200, so 800. This, if you have your shields up, that pushes it up to 1,100. So, how well does this do against larger ships? Well, let's have it go up against A. Also, just so you know, you don't want this ship to be piloted by the AI whatsoever. It will not use its special in any way well. There's also a trick. So when you have a ship targeted, when you teleport, it will automatically put itself behind that ship, facing that ship. So if you're holding up here when you do that, and you're holding shift, it's going to turn you around. The other thing is we want to come up with these, they're all auto-firing. What that means is they won't miss, usually. They'll only fire when they would hit, or when they think they would hit. So, what we have over here, it takes a few seconds for the ship to actually get within range. But we can swap over to that one now. Now, we don't actually want to take all that much damage if we can avoid it. So, let's go and vent. We vent super fast. And we're going to just teleport behind it again. We actually want to try and put ourselves on the other side of it. We want to point ourselves on the other side of it. So as you can see, now we are just firing. And we can vent our flux if we want to just keep firing for more. And basically, once... Oh, that was probably thumpers. But as you can see, now we are just pounding on these guys. There's not a whole lot he can do about it either. His option is basically to take it. Now, we don't want to sit there behind him and fight him over and over and over. We instead want to teleport behind him, dump all of this EMP into him, and then sit there and shoot him until he starts to recover, and then we want to move away, vent our flux, and then do it again. So that's how you fly this ship, how I have it set up here. So what about destroyers? This one uses what? Bombers? Because we use bombers, those just aren't going to do anything. So let's say this. So we have a carrier out there. And, oh man, it could be dangerous. It has broadswords. Okay, well, first we want to target that. And we want to try and lure the broadswords away before we go and just start jacking up the the carrier itself. Now, we want the assault chain gun to do its thing. And we do want to get away from those Pila. We want to vent our flux. And then we want to come back over there and start doing even more damage. This is all just about teleporting around them. And then the other ships, the fighters, we would be able to probably take down. But it's all about luring the fighters away and then teleporting so that they have to come around to get you. What about larger ships? Well, Dominators. A lot of the larger ships are going to suffer from the main problem, and that is they're too slow and we can just teleport behind them. Tell them they're already dead, you know, the usual things. And yeah, so he pretty much can't do anything right now. And we can just vent our flux really fast. And oh no, he's got thumpers. Now, because we'll pretty much always take down his engines, he's already dead, he just doesn't realize it yet. Because his main weapons are in the front. There's just not much he can do about that. The assault chain gun is really what makes it here, because it can fire forever, whereas the other guns can't. Now, the other guns will make sure that he pretty much stays shut down, while the assault chain gun kills him. So more or less, this fight was decided the moment that we got within range. The moment we teleported once, this fight was over. Hello, Mr. Cat. Alright, everyone. So that's that one. But what else we got? Yes, Mr. Cat. Everyone loves you. I love you too. Alright, so what about onslaughts? Pretty much the same thing happens, except onslaughts have enough firepower in the back to where they're actually a threat to you. So let's look at other things like, what if we had a bunch of Tempests? Yes. Not a bunch of Tempests, but a bunch of Lashers. So I think there are more Lashers around here. Yeah. So we had 16 points of Lashers. It might seem as though we should have trouble, but realistically speaking, if we can separate the Lashers, if we can hit them, then we don't need to worry about it too much. We can also potentially shoot down their Salamanders. But let's go ahead and let those things destroy themselves. Now, the worst thing that can happen to us is we get a bunch of hard flux on us. Now, so we want to teleport behind that guy, and then immediately jack him up. If we can. Right, I'm sitting on the chain gun. We probably don't want that. And our engines are out. So we need to vent, and we have a response to this. Called teleport. But we want to stay off of our chain gun so that it actually can fire. And there's that guy in the back. So if we can, we want to teleport and then shoot him to death. And hopefully we can do that. But right now we are kind of out of our elements. But there we go. That is the Lasher. Not the Lasher. That is the Hyperion. It works really well at assassinating other ships that are bigger than it. But it does struggle a little bit when it's fighting a bunch of fighters. It just doesn't have that stopping power that something like an unending barrage enforcer might have. And it just can't really go. It's not intended to go toe to toe with things. It's intended to teleport behind them, stab them in the back, and then run away. That's really what it's intended to do. So what about an onslaught? Well, you're going to run into a little bit of a problem here. And that is, as I said previously, onslaughts have a lot of firepower in the back. Now, on the bright side, we can take down his shields. Also, should get off of the autocannon. However, we're barely doing anything. Even just firing all of this, it's going to take a good long while for us to make our way through his armor. Meanwhile, he has all of this defense back here, which essentially means we're going to need to back off, vent, and then come back. This isn't that big of a problem, except our shields are very expensive. And we do tend to drop a lot of our power, a lot of our flux right at the beginning. So we can kill him. We have a lot of that high alpha strike potential, to an extent. That's the wrong term, but you know what I mean. A lot of that damage that we can just dump into the enemy right at the beginning. And we can just jump right on. We can just jump right onto him, do all that damage really quick, and then potentially miss the rest. So if we go over here, we can see how many charges we have. See that we're already in this sort of danger area here. And what we want to do, ideally, would be to take down all of his weapons back there in that area. We just want this to get up to like 20, 27 before we jump in again, so we can then just do all this damage and then get out. Ideally, we would have a little bit more armor in places, but let's go ahead and vent that flux and then make our way back in. So, 27 and 30. So, let's get off of that. And let's kill it. Alright. So there we go. It can kill an onslaught. It's going to take a beating, and it's going to take a while to kill it. Right, guys, my name has been Muir. This has been Starsector version 0.95.1a -RC3. RC4 isn't going to really change this, so this should work just fine with RC4, the latest patch as of the time of making. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Go ahead and leave me a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and just share the video with whoever you think would like it. See you later. Bye.